Hello and welcome to Gagdul.net. My name is Wally Sarkisian. And today we have our honorable guest, the only one, I guess. He today threw a bombshell, well, not today, but a couple of days ago, a bombshell on Armenian government, and it's stirred quite a bit of problem. And so, Michael, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Wally. Thank you for having me again. I think we had a very good conversation in the past. I always enjoy speaking with you and your audience. It's a great platform, and I value your services to the Armenian community.
Thank you. So, Michael, what happened? Like these things, you sent it 2 years ago, and how now it came exposed?
Well, look, I've been doing a fair amount of charity in Armenia for the past 5 years or so. Starting 2016 and on, as an Armenian American, as an Armenian, I always want to help Armenia. And the area I can help is healthcare, because that's where my expertise is, in healthcare, running hospitals, and managing large healthcare organizations. So as president of a pretty large nationwide company, having many hospitals across the United States, so I have access, expertise, as well as equipment and other supplies and so forth. So it could be very helpful to Armenia. And so I started from 16, 17 on. I've been sending a fair amount of equipment and supplies to the various hospitals in Armenia. Throughout the last 5 years, I think we sent close to between $15 to $20 million worth of medical equipment, as well as a fair amount of supplies and other items to help Armenia and Armenian healthcare system. These equipments went even before I visited Armenia, because I never visited Armenia till 2019 and 2020. So I had not much idea what the healthcare system in Armenia was, at what stage and so forth. But from what I understood from various physicians and others that visited me here in LA, things were really bad shape, and they need a fair amount of help in terms of expertise as well as equipment that can help. And obviously, as an Armenian, I want to help our countrymen, our country. If I can do something to help, why not? So based on that premise, and purely on that premise, so it wasn't like I'm trying to make any gain in this. I mean, literally, we get millions of dollars worth of equipment without getting any benefits from it. We didn't ask the Armenian government for anything in return. We gave this thing free, willingly, and also we did not even ask them to pay for the shipping and storage and so forth. So we paid for the shipping, everything, all the way from LA to arrive in your home. So as you saw, it was purely humanitarian basis that we did, myself and our company, and we help Armenia. That was the whole premise. Now, and I was under the impression all these years that it went to the right place. And that's what they told me. It went to these 30 hospitals in Armenia. Armenia has about 40 or 41 hospitals in the country. So 30 of them, I would say, 75% of the hospitals in Armenia received our equipment that needed it. Now, all of a sudden, in the last month, I heard, and it was some of it public record. It wasn't like, I just heard confidentially that some of that few items was diverted and sold to outside the country of Armenia. So that really upset me. That when I heard that, it came to my attention through a trusted friend that it was sold and someone benefited from it. And that made me very, very mad and upset, because all of us, if we do something for a specific purpose, and that is then diverted to that for not that purpose, you're going to be very upset and angry about it. And that's where I put that post. Maybe on a second thought, maybe I wasn't too diplomatic. And me, as you know, I'm a pretty straightforward guy. I say it the way it is. I see something, I speak up my mind, and I speak the truth always. And that's my upbringing as well as my training as a executive running a multi-billion-dollar hospital system. So that is my approach to things. And if I see something, I say it. It's not like, I will hide it or try to be diplomatic about it. None of that BS. Basically, I will tell you, and my friends, as my family know that, I'm very outspoken and I speak what needs to be said. In this situation, I saw it, and I put that post. On a second thought, it wasn't that diplomatic, but it caused a huge uproar for Armenia and Armenian government and people in diaspora.
Do they contact you?
Yes, I got contact through diaspora director, and he was quite surprised and want to know details. And at the time, I didn't know much the details, quite frankly. I mean, I heard this, and he wanted to know this specifically, the hyperbaric chambers, which was the allegation was sold, when it was sent, who we sent it to, and who got it in Armenia. Those are the detailed questions that he had. And we provided him quite a bit of the detail to him, and let them investigate, let them check, and we gave them all the data. This is what we sent, and I posted a lot of the videos. I posted a lot of the videos, Wally. I mean, you see it. I mean, it's being shipped. You see the hyperbaric chamber is being put in the truck and shipped to Long Beach port, and boom, gone to Armenia. Yeah. So clearly it was sent. And it wasn't like we didn't send it. We did send it, and it shows clearly. And Armenia received it because we have videos of the defense minister at the time, the health minister at the time, getting it, and they're making statements. This is huge amount of equipment that Armenia never see it in its history. That we did something historic, basically, trying to help our countrymen, trying to help Armenia. It was not political. I wasn't trying to take side with anybody.
You never even mentioned that. I never knew. All this year I knew you. You never said that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty, low-key guy. I don't want to make flashy statements. And somebody gives them only one equipment, they yell and scream, saying that we gave this. We sent millions of dollars worth of equipment, and we hardly said anything about it. Basically, we just did our work. This is the right thing to do, and that's why I believe. I mean, I believe in doing the work, in doing the charity. And I do a lot of charity in the United States, fair amount of charity here in LA, in California, and I don't talk about it, because if you do something good to somebody else who's in need, or a society or an institution, I don't go out and say something. I mean, the school that my daughter attends was about to go under, an Armenian school in Pasadena. I made a huge donation 4 years ago, and the school was saved from being shut down.
I know that was another thing you wrote about it. This AGBU is closing some of the schools in Lebanon, other places. I think.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, what I was trying to say, here's AGBU, a 100-year history, has a $500 million in its endowment fund. It shuts down its school in Pasadena, an Armenian school. It shuts in Pasadena. An organization, here me, Mike, by myself, a school that's about to shut down, I saved it, protected it, still alive today. It's working, functioning, successful, profitable. I wouldn't say profitable, at least it pays its bills. And that's what I did. So, I mean, to me, do things as a charity, as a good deed to the humanity. Because I go back to my upbringing, Wally, coming back from Lebanon as a teenager, having, during the war, having really zero, not even a penny in our pocket, going to school, getting my education, study, healthcare, and become a hospital CEO and hospital system CEO, and running hospitals all over the country, being successful executive, a successful healthcare guy. So I want to give back to society. I feel in that. I mean, most people say, the hell with it, go to Europe, vacation. I mean, that's what some of my friends said to me. Why are you even worried about this? The hell with it. Just enjoy life, be happy. I know that I could do that very easily, but also it just, I want to help somebody less fortunate. And that was my whole purpose, doing these fair amount of charities in the United States. I mean, I think it's in several $1 million just in the United States alone, the last 15 years or so. And to Armenia, another 15 to close to, I think it's closer to 20 million by the time you add. We send 8 40-foot containers, Wally. You imagine 40-foot containers, huge containers, and these were all sent, 8 of them, not just one, 8 of them, full of medical equipment. And also, I went and begged my friends, asking them to give me medical supplies, which is obviously, I'm being a hospital, and healthcare guy. I'm not in the supply business, but I asked one of the largest companies in the United States to donate medical supplies, that was badly needed, surgical supplies, for soldiers being wounded, dying, and stopping the bleeding. So I got over $100,000 in wholesale cost of medical supplies, which I ship it to Armenia for the soldiers and people who need.
I have that video here. Somebody put it. So.
Yeah. So you see, this is only a partial of what we send out. Huge amount of, in 8 separate containers. We did several shippings, not just one. Shipments, I should say. Several shipments throughout the last, since 17, 18, 19.
So the people who wrote to you, what are they saying? What is their comment?
Well, actually, somebody met me and told me that some of these hyperbaric chambers, or all the hyperbaric chambers were sold outside Armenia.
Outside Armenia?
It was sold outside Armenia. It's not in Armenia. It was sold outside Armenia, and this person benefited from it. I mean, took a lot of money for it. And that's what I heard. Again, that's what I said I heard. I didn't say I know, because I don't know. I mean, clearly, my statement that I posted, I said I heard. And that's the truth. I heard.
Michael, since you work hard for you're a millionaire. Because of this, your things what happened. Isn't it time for someone like you to set up some account or something about whistleblower? Because there is all this corruption we hear in Armenia. Would be now, because people are afraid. I got so much messages people send me, but I have no way to proof it and so to publish it. And if we have some kind of, what can I say, organization or something, will have some funding for whistleblower, that you say to them, if you prove that what you're saying, you could provide us, we'll give you incentive to protect you or something. Because I think without something like that, people are afraid to come. I mean, you heard this maybe by accident, or somebody volunteer came and told you. But if we have some kind of unit fund somewhere for whistleblowers, that, in Pashinian government is probably more corrupt than anyone else, but people send me thousands of those messages, but we have no way of finding. And those people.
In the United States, in healthcare, there's this whistleblower program that you can anonymously call the Justice Department or OIG, Office of Inspector General, and you can tell them, look, I work in such a company, or I work somewhere else in one of healthcare, and this is what's going on.
Yeah, but sorry to stop you there, but in Armenia, they're all the same crop, Justice Minister is Pashinian buddies.
What we have in the United States, that you can report a corruption or some bad thing, and if they investigate and check, let's say they recovered, you will get 25% of that recovery.
Oh.
There's an incentive. So people can call anonymously and say, look, this company is doing a Medicare fraud, and they're stealing from government. And the government can investigate and finds out these people who were stealing, they have criminal as well as civil penalties. In the civil penalties, there's recovery, you can get 25% of it. So there's an incentive right there.
Yeah, well, that's good. Actually,
that's what we have in the United States.
I get every day from just Department of Justice, all those crooks, they find out, they put them in jail or fine them millions of dollars. Already. But in Armenia, there is no such a things.
Of course, Armenia is a small country. It's not like United States, so this type of thing does not exist in Armenia.
Armenia, the corruption is within the government, and
I know. Look, it's going to take some time. Armenia, throughout the Soviet system, been corrupt, as you know. The last 30 years was bad. And we saw a good hope with Pashinyan coming on board. Hey, finally, this corruption is going to end. But it takes a long time. I would say another generation, Wally.
Yeah.
Because the mentality is so corrupt. Mentality is, it's okay. You can steal it from government. Government does everything. So why not, I take this one away from government. So they don't have this moral standard that, look, this is wrong. You cannot do that. You're hurting the society. You're hurting government. They don't have that. Oh, they think it's actually smart to steal. Yeah. So it's a good thing to steal. And that's the mentality that has to go away. But it's going to take a generation, unfortunately.
In Armenian, they say charbigan.
But see, this is wrong. We have to teach people right and wrong. And I'm sorry to say it's going to take another 25 years to have a new generation of thinkers and the young people, the young generation that studied, post-Soviet system. They're going to think, no, this is wrong. You cannot cheat, you cannot steal, and you cannot lie. You have to tell the truth, and you cannot steal. Do things. Look, you can always be successful on your own. You don't need to do illegal things to get successful. That mentality has to stop, and that's unfortunately it's going to take a long time to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is no decent government have come to do that, and each one comes blame the other one. It's just like Pashinyans were saying. There was some article today. They were saying during the election, we are good because the other ones, they were so bad, So it's,
Well, look, clearly, I didn't want to add any headache to Armenian government. That was not my purpose. And Armenia has a lot of issues, surrounded by arch enemies, as a very poor economy, and tremendous, socioeconomic issues, massive people leaving Armenia there's no jobs, there's no work, decent jobs. I think, 2 million people just in Russia alone, Wally, hundreds of thousands in Europe and so forth, and they're trying to come to the United States. So Armenia has really issues, and I want Armenia to be successful. I don't want Armenia to fail. So that was not my purpose. My purpose was, look, I send this thing to your hospitals free. It didn't cost you a penny. So, and just use it to help people. Use it for different purposes in hospitals, because you don't have it. And people, somebody said to me, oh, some of it was used. I said, yeah, of course it was used. What do you want me to do? Send you a new one? Even the used one, you didn't have it in hospitals. The hospital I visited was poor. They didn't have a lot of equipment, except a few hospitals in Yerevan. You go outside Yerevan, its conditions is in horrible shape. Some of the hospitals I visited 10 hospitals when I was in Armenia. I was not impressed, and I hope and the people don't take me the wrong way. I'm not saying it to be hurtful to anybody. I'm just saying what I saw, and we need to improve our healthcare system. If we improve it, and we make some investment from diaspora, and people should feel comfortable that they're not going to steal your investment, that this hospital can be very successful, and we have very smart people, smart doctors we have, and we can bring patients from other parts of the Russia and other countries, and we can make very profitable medical tourism business in Armenia, which is, not being fully utilized. There may be some little lake is being used, dentistry and so forth, but I'm talking about having surgeries there, because a lot of people, when they're really sick, that some of the people I know, they go to France or Germany because they don't trust the Armenian system. But we have to reverse that. So people should have the surgeries and treatments in Armenia, also from Russia, because it's much cheaper to do it.
The problem is not just the government. The problem is the people. Look, Armenia is the only country, probably that region, has only 5% vaccinated. Like even Azerbaijan has 40%, Turkey 50%. it's the mentality of people is the problem, you know.
Yeah, but see, you need a leader who will educate the public. I mean, be there like father's figure, you know. And fortunately, and I believe in democracy, but I think in this situation, you need a leader who's going to explain to them, you know, why is your vaccination this? I mean, everybody in Armenia, and even Armenians here, have this mentality, something wrong with vaccination. You're going to be sick. Well, let me tell you, I was the first one that got vaccinated back in December of last year. You know, when Pfizer came out on December 17, I think it was approved, and December 19, we got it at the hospital. As the CEO, as the chief, I was the first one to the vaccine. And my nurses and my doctors came with me. I told them, I'm the first guy, okay? I'm taking it. I took it. And when the booster came, because I took the second one in January, the second shot, when the booster came, I took the booster. So just to set the example to the people saying, look, you know, this is not bad.
I took the booster. I took the booster. That was horrible, the last one. The first two was okay. The booster was a nightmare. I had pain in my arm. I couldn't lift it for 2 days.
Me too. It happened to me too, Wally. So that's pretty normal.
Seems to me, I heard lots of people are saying that the booster is, I'm sure there is the same vaccine, but
exactly
maybe it's just our body is now reacting more differently.
Yeah. I mean, I still have soreness in my arm. After the
I wake up at 11 o'clock at night. I could not move my arm, and then I waited until 3 o'clock. It was not, so I ran for Tylenol.
Yeah, Tylenol will help you, and that will alleviate the pain. But I took the booster. But mentality of the Armenian and people, you know, I hate to say this thing again. It shows they tell me, obviously Armenians, you know, they tell me, can we get your certificate without getting the shot?
I know.
I tell them, look, my entire professional life of 35 years, I never falsified nothing in my life, never lied about anything. You're asking me, and these are like friends or people that I know. So you know my philosophy. I would never give you a false paper, number one. I would never do anything illegal. And I said, go get vaccinated. What the hell wrong with you?
Yeah.
So this is the mentality we have. They're saying, oh, can you give me a piece of paper from hospital? I mean, look, it's going to jeopardize me and jeopardize my hospital. I mean, imagine the mentality of the people we have is that has to stop. You know, guys, you got to go and vaccinate. There's nothing wrong with it. If I can take it, you can take it. So stop this nonsense of something is wrong. The FDA is going to approve.
I mean, all those diseases we control it by vaccination, polios, and you name it.
Of course,
you know,
of course.
Is all this happened because of this? Trump turned this to a political football game, and the people
some of the Republicans started this nonsense.
Yeah, it's
and it just this is not politics. This has nothing to do with political.
Yeah, I know.
This is medicine. Pfizer come out with the first, shots and vaccinations and take it. And obviously, whether you take Pfizer or Moderna or Johnson & Johnson, you name it. Now, the fear in Armenia is obviously, well, we don't have Pfizer, we want Pfizer. And this British one, they're suspicious, and forget even talking about the Russian. They don't even touch
everything they associate politics to it. You know, everything.
We don't want to take the Russian one. The English one, we don't know. I mean, that's not safe. Whatever. 5 people died. They said. I don't know. I don't know what statistics they are. Well, 5 people died. Taking the British one. And I say, okay, now Moderna is available in Armenia, so take Moderna. I mean, it's the good, FDA approved it already. I mean, take Moderna. Why not? I mean, and they say, somebody was vaccinated, got still sick. Well, it doesn't mean it's 100%. It's 95%. So you still have 5%. But if you have the disease, it's much milder. Instead of you dying, and you be saved from it. That's the mentality we have in this country and in Armenia, unfortunately.
One time we put this old man, and they went to him to put mask. He says, "What's wrong with you? We Armenian have different gene. We 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 do not get the disease. All those diseases, you know." And he said, and the journalist was asking about. He said, "Well, how old are you?" He says, "I'm 50." He says, "But you need to take that stuff." He said, "You know, like people dying, they have to die anyway." You know, like, man, we had that video, like it was so funny.
I don't know. It was, when I was lecturing in Armenia and even in the medical school, as well as in some of the hospitals and so forth. I mean, it's amazing, the mentality. But the good thing is, I'm very optimistic about the future and the future generation. Very smart kids, they're asking good questions. They're being educated by computers, and they're very, very sophisticated, young, new generation. That's, as I said, another full generation. I think you're going to see much better results than what we have today. Unfortunately,
I hope so. I'm happy to see you throw this bombshell. At least people see, because somehow I'm the only one who speak about this Pashinyan crap. But now I hear today, finally, first time Aram is talking about it, about this appeasing the Azerbaijani government and Turkish government. He had some article, I don't have here. So he's speaking out, and also the foreign Armenia's American ambassador, John Evans, the former ambassador at Armenia. Actually, I met them 2007.
I met you. Very good man. Very good guy.
It's an amazing guy.
Former ambassador. He was fired because he wanted to say genocide.
I met them in Sevan Lake. We were going there, and I see he was sitting there. So we sat down, we ate some rook, we cut it, and he and his wife, I still remember, very nice guy. But he's speaking out. He's saying, instead of all this Russian stuff, why not put military zone, like demarcation, so that maybe 100 mile, or 100 or kilometer from each other, So people are coming with idea, but Armenians don't think those things,
Look, obviously, shifting to politics, Armenia is desperately trying to open the border with Turkey. And clearly Turkey is taking advantage of that. And basically Turks are very, I hate to say it, and
very smart.
Very, very shrewd, I should say. Being smart as shrewd.
Yeah.
And they're a big country, big resources. They know Armenia is vulnerable. They know Armenia is very, very weak. So they're taking advantage of that. And they're putting their agenda. Forget the Armenian recognition of genocide. Forget any reparation from Turkey. So all that, they're saying, okay, we accept those and get out of, Karabakh, and okay, maybe we'll open the borders. You see, how could you, and they're saying we can talk at that time. So not even guaranteed. So they have this carrot.
They're con artists. How do you trust those bastards?
Yes, give me a break. Yeah. So Armenia, in desperation, is saying, okay, we'll negotiate. And by the way, both administration, the Pashinyan as well as the previous, would say Sarkisian, the same thing. They were going to accept the same.
But in Sarkisian case, the Turk made that proposal talking, which was their foreign minister, Davutoglu. I remember that. Muhammad or Ahmad Davutoglu. It was their idea. It was their idea to do this. But this one is Pashinyan idea to do that. So that was two different things. But anyway, that one didn't work anyway.
Yeah, I know. Armenia, in its foreign policy, obviously, you're surrounded by horrible neighbors. On both sides. And even to the north, I'm not sure how good relation we have with our friends in Georgians. I don't think they're reliable at all. They're friends with Turkey more than they're friends with us, even though they're Christian. They all say we're Christian. The only reliable friend we have is Iran, unfortunately. at least Iran,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
though it has a huge Azeri population, 20 million or so, but still been a lot more friendly to Armenia than the Georgians ever been.
Look,
And Georgia is very close to Turkey.
All Armenia need Iran, Georgia. That's it. Build the road. They've been talking for 100 years now. Build this road connecting all. You know, like Armenia, they talk about Turkey opening the border, economy. Like you're 3 million people. If you have that much good product, there's Iran, 80 million people. Go sell them there. There's Arab countries. We have good relationship with Arab countries. Go sell them there. It's this whole myth of economy is just a myth. If you have a product, you could sell any place.
Yeah, of course.
You think Turkey you're gonna be able to compete with Turkish cheap product? No way.
No, actually, Turkish product is gonna pretty much conquer Armenian markets.
Exactly.
Because
Look,
everything in Turkey is much
it's
cheaper.
doing same in Georgia, doing same in Iraqi Kurdistan, everywhere that Turkey
Everywhere.
goes, it conquered. This is their before this Pashinyan came, I was concentrating on Turkish stuff. This Davutoglu, he wrote a book. He was a professor at university. He wrote a book. He says Turkey must use economic hegemony to conquer Caucasus, Middle East, and East Europe, the Mid East, Mid Europe, whatever
Middle
they
East.
call them. You know, and this was, and Erdogan is just following Davutoglu program. You know, this is, we were before always informing people about this Turkish policies, what they're doing. You know, it was public. It wasn't hiding. So this is why they wanted to go northern Syria, northern Iraq, cut through Iran to connect with their Turkish people. But that didn't work. So now they're using Armenia, become like to create this corridor to connect it. So it's the Turks is long time they wanted to connect with.
Turkey's,
you know.
and Davutoglu was a university professor, by the way. He was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
intelligent guy, very, very smart guy.
Yeah.
And Turks are very smart, intelligent, and they're diplomats, a lot more than Armenians we ever.
I think the best diplomat in the world, beside the British.
I mean, they were able to use. Look at this. I mean, they're members of NATO, so they're pretty much on the west, right? Second largest army in NATO. But also, they got Russia on their side.
Yeah.
Russia, and they bought things from Russia. They bribed Russia, by the way, by buying billions of dollars equipment from Russia, and even NATO was, they never kicked Turkey out. They never did that. So these guys using both sides.
Yeah.
Imagine. So can't we be Armenians, be smart, we use both sides somehow, get America and Russia on our side? But somehow we are so behind in diplomacy, so behind because we don't have that. Number one, I guess we never prepared anybody in our history. We've always been under a Soviet system. So we don't have good diplomatic corps.
Michael, unless we have a professional government in Armenia, nothing will change. We need a professional government, just like Switzerland. Switzerland, they don't. If you ask somebody who is the prime minister of Switzerland, nobody knows. No, their president.
I don't know either.
Because because it rotates. There's no dictatorship in there. They come from the regions. They call them deputies, and the deputies they appoint every 2 years somebody to be the prime minister or something. And that's why you go in, even in Switzerland, I asked them, who is your prime minister? They didn't know that day. Says, let me check. I don't know who is next 2 years,
Yeah, I have to Google it, please. I don't know.
Yeah, so you need a government professional, bring people like Michaels and other who experience, put them in there for 5 years, forget about the parliament, forget about the president, a professional government to run the country. To build the people who know military expertise, economy, diplomacy, and all those Armenians they have around the world. This is the only solution. But these people like idiot like Pashinyan, I mean, you go read Pashinyan biography, the guy has never even finished university. He has no business, never run a business in his life. Nothing, no diplomatic, no negotiating skill. And this idiot is going to go sit, negotiate with this ruthless Erdogan, Aliyev, and Putin. Go think about this. Never run a business.
They eat them for breakfast, probably. You can't even less than lunch.
Yeah.
Look, unfortunately, but he was elected by 54% or 50%.
That's why a few minutes ago I said to you, is the people is the problem.
I mean, so we got him, so we have no other choice. So this guy is elected now. And I feel terrible that the country is going through this very rough time. And Russia, it's proven again, not being a reliable ally during this war. I mean, Erdogan, prior to the war, talked to Russians and got Russian support before they attacked, obviously. I mean, this is clearly done. No doubt in my mind that they have the green light from Russia. And based on that, they attacked. And they really brought Armenia to its knees. And we lost horribly. And unfortunately, I say, even after the loss, we haven't even learned from our loss. We haven't investigated this thing, looked at it, what caused it, what we need to change. Whenever, in business, we do this all the time. If we fail on a project, we sit down, we analyze. Root cause analysis, it's called, as you probably heard. Root cause analysis. What's the root of the issue is, what caused it, and analyze it that it doesn't happen again. That's the first thing we do in a hospital. Anything goes wrong, and Joint Commission asks for this also. They say, have you done this root cause analysis? So Armenia needs to sit down and analyze what's the root of the issue is, what caused it, they'll analyze it and come up with a solution. We haven't learned anything. We did another election, the same person that lost the war, got elected again with overwhelming majority. I have
Michael,
nothing else to say.
Let me tell you this. You live in the U.S. We all live there. When there is war or crisis, the current president, will ask other president, other minister of defense, other secretary of state, bring them, say, we have this problem. How did you deal with it? What can I do? This idiot Pashinyan, Kocharian, Sarkisian, they both from Karabakh. They know the landscape. They were in the first Karabakh war. You would think this guy will lower his egomaniac, call them all in, say, help me, what we could do. No, those Kocharian, Sarkisian goes to Karabakh, they won't even give him any information. This is what this egomaniac is.
Look, this guy signed an agreement without even discussing with the foreign minister, his own foreign minister. I mean, the guy resigned. Remember? I mean, he signed an agreement without even telling the foreign minister.
Let me show you this. Let me show you. Let me see. I don't know if you could hear it, but the people who are going to watch this, they hear it. Watch this.
Եվ կհամարեմ, որ դա լավ տարբերակ է, որևէ մեկը չմտածի, թե ես ձեզնից թաքուն, որևէ թուղթ կստորագրեմ, կամ որևէ գործողություն կանեմ։ Ես կգամ եւ կկանգնեմ այստեղ, բոլոր մանրամասնություններով կներկայացնեմ ձեզ, եւ դուք կորոշեք, մենք գնում ենք այդ տարբերակով կարգավորման, թե չենք գնում։ Ես չեմ կարող ներկայացնել։
Okay.
I didn't hear.
Yeah, you didn't hear it.
He's a good speaker. I mean,
but what he's saying in there, what he's saying, what you said just a few minutes ago. He's telling his people in public that I will not sign any document without coming in front of you, be a transparent, explain to you, and with your permission, I'll go sign it. And he goes sign the secret document without consulting the president, the parliament, neither his foreign minister. And this is the liar, the guy.
The president said here that on television or something, the foreign minister resigned in humiliation because nothing was even discussed with the foreign minister. I mean, imagine this. I mean, imagine this will happen in anywhere else. I mean, unbelievable.
I mean, we have Pashinyan lies like thousands of them. Somebody could make an audio for it. This guy, whatever he says, completely
It's like
does
Trump.
opposite.
It's like Trump, your friend Trump.
Yeah,
Lies
but
like Trump.
almost the same. Almost the same. Yeah, it's just like, it's amazing his lies, and those people believe it. And
Well, what can we say?
Yeah.
I mean,
But anyway,
we shifted from our
I know we had
topic,
to throw a little politics in it.
politics, yeah, because you and I love discussing politics. Look,
Yeah, well, because honestly, Michael, this disaster, what happened to Armenia's humiliation, haven't sinked into people's head yet. Trust me, people haven't sinked this deep inside. This is just a year now, after they find out all this disaster, and then they realize this humiliation, this I don't know what else word to use, because Artsakh victory was hope, inspiration for all of us. And now that whole thing went down the drain, and we don't know what this idiot gonna sign recognizing Azerbaijan, because there's new shoe gonna drop of recognizing Azerbaijan territorial integrity.
Integrity, yeah.
Yeah. So
That means Karabakh is gone. That's that.
we don't know yet.
Essentially, we say, Karabakh belongs to Azeris, because once you recognize their territorial integrity, that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
And
So
if it says to Turkey there's no genocide, that's also, we lost everything on Western Armenia forever.
Yeah. This is
And
why.
also, there's no compensation, nothing for all the victims.
I mean, the things we're so working hard in diaspora, people like you with money stuff, other politically, other lobbying, every organization in Armenia. We don't even build universities for ourselves. We, as we discussed in beginning of this, they were closing our school and everything in diaspora, pouring the money and opening school, universities in Yerevan, but those people, it's useless.
Yeah. Well, look, I sincerely hope and wish that these dark days, dark clouds will go away. We'll have better days coming ahead of us. I'm optimistic for the future, even though we're in a very, very dark days we're living.
Very.
And I hope is as we Armenians, we will survive. And we're a tough people. We went through genocide. We went through many, many wars and horrible days. And unfortunately, we're living in a day where leadership we're lacking. We don't have that leadership that can see the issues and see the future and do the right decisions, not based on emotion, based on national interest, based on calculation, the right calculation for the future. And unfortunately, we don't have that. And look, people like me and others who are in businesses and running businesses and can be helpful to Armenia. But, you reach a stage like you give up. You say, why I'm doing this? There's no gain for me. I mean, here I give millions and nobody even recognized that. And I did it not because I want any recognition. I did it trying to help people, somebody less fortunate who are my own people. I'm Armenian and I want to help Armenians. And that's what I wanted to do, to make sure Armenia prosper, make sure Armenia gets better. And not some oligarch or some people steal it and benefit from it. I mean, that's not the purpose. We always want the best. I'm hopeful that the future will be a better day for us as Armenians, because we're tough people. We will survive this. That's my hope. And pray.
Well, thank you very much, Michael, for coming, and keep us up to date about this equipment and see what happened, where they end up, and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Wally. We will do our best to be vigilant about it. We'll let you know when things come out, and I think I'm optimistic that the right thing will be done. I'm very optimistic.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.